What is up, everybody? IcyyMike back again, and today I've got a Hearts of Iron 4 tutorial for everybody. We're going to be talking about naval invasions and air superiority. These are two things that I didn't discuss, or I haven't discussed yet. In my other tutorials, I've talked about a lot of things with your divisions on the ground, but I haven't talked about naval invasions and, gaining air superiority and even using paratroopers. So I wanted to go over that in this tutorial so you guys basically have every base covered in the game and know exactly what you need to do. So in this particular scenario, I've started out as UK in 1939, and I just want to demonstrate to you guys what you need to know in order to pull off successful naval invasions, because it is a bit confusing. So first I want to say you need to create an invasion fleet. Now, if we go and we look at our research, you click the Naval tab and you go down to the bottom here, you see transports. Now, some countries start with this already researched, some do not. You need this first one researched in order to be able to successfully transport your troops. This one gives you the ability to transport up to 10 divisions. This next one ups it up a little bit. Now you have a naval invasion capacity of 40. But you need to make sure you have at least this first one. I highly suggest to go to this one if you really want to, make a huge impact in terms of naval invasions. Okay, so once you know that you have that researched, here is what you need to do. You need to create a division of 10 troops. So let's go ahead and do that. 10 or less. Now, so there's 5. Let's go ahead and add them to the army. So we need 5 more. That's 6. So we'll go ahead and remove them and add them to the same division. I'll go ahead and give them a commander. Now you want to go ahead and send them to a province that has an actual seaport. If you hover over it, says we're currently at war and our transport risks being sunk when moving troops. We can make sure ships on an escort mission are in the area to help that happen. And we'll discuss that a little bit. But first I want to get these 10 divisions in this province. Alright, so they're all going there. Now, before transporting any of your troops, you want to have control over the sea. And as you can see, we do not have control over the English Channel right now. So that is something that we want to do. So I'm going to go ahead and take this one, and I want them to patrol. So I want to take over this English Channel, and I'm going to actually send all my ships to do that. So just to make it nice and easy, let's just do every ship that I have to do that there in the English Channel to ensure nothing crazy happens in this tutorial. Alright, so patrol there. So as you can see, we have different options here. We have the patrol, the search and destroy, the convoy raiding, and the convoy escort. And I'm going to show you guys the convoy escort here pretty soon, because that is going to actually come in handy. But for now, I just want to clear out this English Channel. So I'm going to go ahead and pause, and there it is, automatically green. And we're getting our first battles. I mean, the UK starts with a crazy navy, so it shouldn't be too much of a task for us to hold on to it. And then with France there as well. Okay, so I'm going to pause it again. We've got our troops here. So now we need to set up for a naval invasion. So how do we do this? Well, it's simple. You click your 10 divisions. You have them at a seaport. You hit naval invasion order. Now if you hover over it, in Paradox games, pretty much hovering over everything gives you the tooltip that you need. Step 1 is click on one highlighted provinces to select the invasion source. Keyword is source here. Then step 2 is right-click on the desired coast provinces to invade. Once the plan is activated, the invasion will begin to prepare and reserve convoys from your country's pool. So, before we do that, I need to talk about these convoys. Convoys are necessary for you to transport your troops. So if you start with a country with little to none to zero convoys, you need to make sure you build them. And you can build them in the production tab. You just go down here, and instead of like a destroyer, you can build convoys. But you need to make sure that you have some. Now, one thing I want to note, when you invade, do not just click any province. You want to invade another seaport. And this is so you can get supplies. Otherwise, your troops are going to suffer high levels of attrition, and they're going to become really weak, and they're going to get picked off. So make sure when you invade, you're going to another seaport. In this case, we're going to invade Germany, and we're going to do this one right here. Alright, so we're going to take those. We're going to do a naval invasion. So I'm going to click my source. So here's the invasion source. They're in that province. That's the source. Now where they're going to go. Now you can see all the different areas that they can attack. But like I said, we want to do it where there's a seaport. So we're going to right click here. Bam. If you look, we have 10 divisions of Army 1. So they're going to prepare to do that. Now, I haven't activated them to do it yet. We lack sufficient intel to dare send an invasion through. Assign more navies or air wings on missions or cover the area with radar. So what we need to do is we need to take these guys and we need to right click this sea here as well. And we'll go ahead and do that one so we can get this area completely patrolled. Then the next one, I want to take these guys here. I'm going to go ahead and merge them, and I want them to do the convoy escort. Order the fleet to escort convoys in selected regions and protect them against enemy raids. Formation spread 67% tight. So they're going to go ahead and basically what they're going to do is they're going to escort any convoys that are moving. And so that should really help them. So we're going to go ahead and hit play. Let this play out a little bit. If we look, we only have 48% naval superiority, but require 50%. So you want to make sure you have 50% naval superiority before you do in your invasion. So for now, I've got to let my navies come in, do their work, which they will do without a problem. And then we'll be solid. Okay, so also I wanted to show you guys how to assign air wings, because I'm actually going to need it in order to make this naval invasion successful. So just like the naval invasions, the air wings could be a little bit confusing, so I wanted to go over it. Now, if we look, you can see that we have different air bases all across our country. The ones that aren't bubbled means they have 0 planes. So if you hover over them, it says 0 out of 600 airplanes. Every level that you increase your airbase, the more planes it can hold. So this one can hold 1,200 planes. It currently has 120. So if you want to just look at one particular airbase, you click it, and it's actually this menu. So it gets confusing because when you click it, you think this is it. But actually, this is the current air region that you clicked in. This is the specific base that you clicked. So that one I clicked, all these show up. If I want to increase the capacity or the reinforcement limits or reduce them, this is how I would do it. Same thing for the priority if I'm going to delete them. Or if I want to add another type of plane that I've been creating in my reserves, I can do here. So I would just like say if I want to add more strategic bombers, I can do that, hit OK, and now they're getting deployed. Just because they're in your base does not mean they are doing anything. You actually have to assign them to missions. So what you need to do is you click this button, the strategic air, and you can see, just like all the seas, you can see different regions. So like here's Northern France, English Channel, Southern England, all of that. These are different regions. So what I need to do is I need to get air superiority in the Eastern Northern Sea. To do that, I'm going to start moving all my planes to the closest province here so they can have enough range. So to do that, I click this airbase, and it automatically selects them. So all these naval bombers, I'm going to right click on this base, and they're now going to go to it. I exit out of it, and I can go to the next one. I can also select air bases here, but I find it visually it's easier just to kind of do it this way. But whichever is your preference. So I can fit 2,000 in this one, so I'm just going to keep filling this thing up. I've got plenty of planes. These Birmingham ones, just going to all put them in this one here. Because this is the closest one to that region, and they're going to have, every plane has a range. So I'm really just going to max out this base, to be honest. I'm going to probably put some in that one. Now, I got time paused, so this isn't really doing much yet, so let me unpause it. Okay, perfect. And it works the same with carriers as well. If you have a carrier, it'll do the same thing. It actually will show up here. You can just filter it. So these are my carriers. And then if you just click it, it'll pop up here. Okay, so now we've assigned them all to, a few bases. Now, again, I'm not using the best strategies to win the game. I'm just doing this to show you guys how I would, just kind of show you guys the mechanics. Okay, so I have all these planes in this base, but they're not doing anything. They're just standing by. So what do? Well, there's two ways you can do it. You can select the airbase and then you can right-click the region. So in the map. So I can actually go over here and right-click and assign them all. The other way is I can click the region, and then if I check all of these, I can open up the specific ones and then click it. But I find it easier to just, again, visually click the one that I want, right-click the region. Now they're all going to that region, but nothing popped up here. That's because it is still stuck in the Southern England region, and this is where things get a little bit confusing. So then you want to go ahead and click the one that you assigned it to. Now you can see all of these that I've assigned. And this is the cool part. So now they're assigned to this region, but they don't have any missions. These are the missions. Just like in the naval invasions, you have different ones. So I have close air support, naval strike, port strike. I want to do naval strikes on all of these. On the close air supports, the fighters I want to engage in interception and air superiority. Actually, I just want to do air superiority. For the fighters, strategic bombers, we want to make sure they're bombing. Again, bombing, strategic bombing, port strike. Or actually, we want to do that one. And also here you can select whether they go at day or night. Bombers are more successful at night. Fighters are better at day because they have higher visibility. You can also tell them not to retreat, keep flying no matter the casualties. And that's pretty much it. So now you can see all these planes that I have here and their mission efficiency. They're already assigned, so we just hit play. And now we have air superiority over this region. And if we look, that should actually help us get naval superiority, which is what we wanted. So now if we look at our naval invasion, it's got 58 out of 70 days, but now we're not getting that funky message that we were getting earlier. We have superiority, which means our convoys will successfully land at this invasion point and will be ready to attack. Unfortunately, due to our research being so low, we can only send 10 at a time. Okay, so I'm ready to go, so I'm going to go ahead and check it, and now you can see that this has actually been activated, and they are actually on their way. The convoys are sending them there. We have superiority, both naval superiority and air superiority. And there you have it. Our troops are now basically getting off this ship and fighting for this province here. And if they win, they will take it over, and then they will start working their way here. Same thing with paratroopers. You would just kind of, maybe drop them in certain points and kind of work your way there. Hey guys, I wanted to throw in a little bit more detail in assigning and using paratroopers. So the process to doing paratroopers, you kind of need to build two separate things. You need to first build transport planes, and you also need to produce the paratrooper division. Otherwise, you won't be able to do it. And then after that, they pretty much work the same way as the naval invasions. So what you do is you produce some transport planes, and you're going to place them in the airport near the target area. That way it's in range, because transport planes do have a certain range. That's definitely an important tip for you guys. Now, just like the Marines, you'll need to click the pair-drop button on your paratroopers, and you need to select the airport that has the transport planes in them, and then select the target area, assuming it is in range, and then your paratroopers are going to automatically appear there. So I hope that makes sense for you guys. So just make sure that you build the paratrooper division, the transport planes, put the transport planes in the base closest to your target area, and then you want to click the pair drop button from the paratrooper divisions, assign them to the target area, and then they're going to automatically appear. But yeah, so that's pretty much it when it comes to naval invasions and assigning missions to your planes. I hope this guide was helpful to you all. If you thought so, and you enjoyed it, please hit the like button. It helps me out a bunch. And if you're new to this channel and would like to be updated when I come out with more tutorials and other Let's Plays and other content, please consider hitting that subscribe button as well. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you in the next video.